Hello and welcome to another Crusader Kings 3 Dev Diary. This time we're talking about the martial lifestyle, and this is the final lifestyle Dev Diary. And while it is good to get a look into the various lifestyles, they add quite a lot of flavor. Some are better than others, some are more interesting than others, but I will be glad to see the back of them because I want to learn more about mechanics, religion, the way culture works, that kind of thing. I want to know more about that. So it is good, in my opinion, that this is the last one. I'm very much looking forward to next week now. But how about we just dive into the martial lifestyle and see what it is all about. Welcome back to the final installment of our breakdown of the lifestyles. Your host today will be me, Linnea, aka Heptopus, just to spice things up a bit, and I'm here to guide you through warfare. But before I do, I want to remind you that armies and battles themselves are very different from CK2, so if you want a refresher, have a look at our good old Dev Diary number 3, which I did do a video on. I will leave that in the description below. Without further ado, let's have a look at the focuses. So we've got the strategy focus. Again, it looks like we've got the same kind of breakdown as all of the others. One gives straight up the skill, +3. One gives a +1 and something, and the other one gives, well, in this case, it doesn't actually give any martial at all for the third one. Okay, so it's not like all the others. It is a little bit different. That's nice. So yeah, we've got martial +3 and martial experience 32 a month. We've got martial +1, control growth +0.3, and martial experience +32 a month. And then we've got chivalry giving more prowess, +3 prowess. I think that is your combat skill. And then attraction opinion, advantage +5, which is a combat advantage when you're fighting battles and such. And then also martial experience +32 a month. Very nice. So strategy makes sense if you want to win, or even just wage wars. Authority is perfect for when you want to keep your realm under absolute control and cement your rule. And then chivalry. The code of chivalry is good for lowering your chances to die on a battlefield and heightening your chances to attract the people around you. Treating people with respect pays off, it turns out. The trees themselves are very varied and offer some interesting bonuses. There's also a couple of schemes that I'm really excited to tell you about at the end. Lovely. So, starting off with the Strategist Tree. This tree is, as one might expect, all about warfare. Some perks are fairly straightforward, such as improvements to your men-at-arms. That looks more like regular infantry. No, this is the men-at-arms, isn't it? Regular infantry is just peasants, I think. I'm going to have to look at that old Dev Diary myself. But we got Parthian Tactics. I'm not sure why it's Parthian Tactics, but whatever. We got light cavalry, toughness and pursuit, heavy cavalry, toughness and pursuit, and then skirmisher damage and toughness improvements. Very cool. And then envelopment giving man-at-arms counter efficiency +25%. Then hit and run gives retreat losses, heavy infantry damage, heavy infantry toughness, pikeman toughness, and archer damage. So basically just pure boosts, and really strong looking boosts at that, to your troops. I think this is going to be a good focus to go down if you are a smaller nation wanting to punch above your weight, because these are really, really big bonuses. So I'm thinking, yeah, if you're a small nation and you want to go up against a bigger guy who hasn't taken this, that's going to be good for you. Mitigating retreat losses can be really useful if you're unlucky in a battle. We all know it's only down to bad luck. In CK2, I think it's more down to army size. I'd say CK2 is one of the least luck-based damage systems in a Paradox game, honestly. So that you can bounce back faster and show the enemy what you're really made of. Then we've got Organized March giving movement speed, heavy infantry screen, pikeman screen, archer screen, skirmisher screen. Lovely. Whether you're fleeing or attacking, this perk will make sure you do so in an organized manner. Useful for when you want to hunt down the remnants of an enemy army or protect the remnants of your own. And then it's also not the only perk that can speed up a conquest. So we've got naval speed +25% and siege weapon effectiveness +40%. So now that you have the speed and you have the siege weapons, what more could you possibly need for a successful offense? Well, if you're more inclined to go for the drive-through approach, some people call it raiding, or if you often find yourself losing soldiers due to hunger, we have the solution for you. Living off the land gives you raid speed and supply capacity. That's going to be very useful, the raid speed, because I often find myself, when I am raiding in CK2, that I just need that tiny little bit more before an enemy army comes to see me off back to my boats. Having the raid speed go up just means you're going to get more money from your raids. It's pretty good. If that's still not enough, you can improve your army even further by making your men-at-arms bring shovels to the campaign. So siege progress for all of your different types of units. Very nice. With an army this good, it would be a waste to only wage wars when you absolutely had to, wouldn't it? That's why we're making CBs easier to use than ever before. CB cost negative 50%. Fair enough. At the end of the tree, we found the Strategist trait. It gives a boost in both diplomacy and martial, allowing you to cross water freely. Allows you to cross water freely? What? Oh! I think I know what this means. So, navies won't be built in CK3. You're basically going to be going to a system where your troops just pull ships out their asses. Something that CK2 took the piss out of Civilization for in one of the tooltips. But in CK3, the ships are just going to be something that appear when you want to move your troops onto the water, but obviously you're going to have to pay for those ships. If it allows you to cross the water freely, like navies in CK2 were ridiculously expensive. If this strategist trait allows you to, use floaty boaty boys for free, that's really, really powerful. Especially if you are a raiding style civilization, if you are one of the Norse tribes in the north and you want to go and raid, like a lot of your profits from raiding were spent basically on the boats to get your troops down to the raiding target, unless you're using only vassal boats, which I tended to try and do as often as possible. So yeah, having this, if it is what I think it is, that is very, very powerful. Interesting. And it increases the number of dead soldiers your enemy suffers when facing you in battle. In other words, this tree will make you unstoppable on the battlefield and rightfully feared across the land. So, now we've got Overseer. If you want to focus on your own realm more and make sure it's completely under your control, then this is the tree for you. To start it off, we have some perks that will give you more stable ground to stand on, such as Strict Organization, giving increased control in county progress gain plus 20%. Then we've got Control Growth plus 0.3 a month from Serve the Crown. If you're going for real stability, you can tighten your grip on the population of a county so hard that you squeeze out benefits in the form of both gold and levies. Yep, cool. Absolute control means all of the counties you have full control over will give you 10% more taxes and levies as long as you maintain your iron grip on the populace. And then hard rule, giving siege progress against revolts plus 50%. Independence and liberty faction discontent negative 50. That seems very powerful. When vassals or peasants try to turn against you, well, let's just say you will make it harder for them to succeed. But what if the threat isn't coming from within your own realm, but from outside of it? Don't worry, we've got your back. Controlled territory defender advantage plus 5. Okie dokie, fair enough. Enduring hardships, giving plus 1 fort level, and enemy occupations do not lower control. I mean, if enemy occupations lowering control is a mechanic, and it would be painful, then yeah, this is again a really powerful. That's a really powerful perk. Just like pretty much all of the perks. Let's be fair. Prepared conscription gives you negative 15% army maintenance and friendly territory levy reinforcement rate plus 100%, making your troops reinforce faster. That's very useful. If you need an extra push to push out an insistent enemy, you can always trade gold for swords. Okie dokie. And to top it all off, we have the trait Overseer. Oh, we forgot. Soldiers of Fortune, giving merc cost less expensive. Very nice. It grants you a boost in martial stewardship and control growth factors, so the hold you have over your realm will be cemented for decades to come. Now, gallant as well. Romance, prowess, and bravery are the marks of a true charmer. This is the tree for those of you who want to focus on the more elegant side of warfare, while still giving your war efforts a boost. So knights are more effective, you get more prowess, and reduces the risk of commanding armies. Reduces the risks. I was like, reducing the risk of commanding armies? Is it like if your overlord wants to put you in command of an army, you'll be like, no, I refuse because I am a chivalrous person. Yeah, but no, it's just you're gonna die less, basically. Number of knights +4. Friendly fatal casualties -20%. Advantage +5 for never back down. When you tire of fighting and it's time to negotiate for peace, you'll be more persuasive than ever. +10 peace acceptance. Promising prospect, marriage acceptance for yourself and marriage acceptance for your extended family. Very cool. That does sound very fitting for chivalry, I guess. For friendlier times, your gallant behavior attracts suitors for both you and your family, suddenly making those ridiculously good alliances possible. Even your own spouse isn't immune to your charms, so you get opinion with your spouse and skill from spouse cancel tasks +25%. Lovely. Of course, love is not always found in arranged marriage, and the rumours about your gallant behaviour aren't limited to just your own court. If your dearly beloved needs to be charmed, or if you just can't wait for permission to marry them, you can get some help along the way. So we've got courtship, romance scheme power, elope scheme power, romance scheme success chance, and elope scheme success chance going up all the way. Lovely. I think it's the first time we mentioned these schemes. They're a real treat. The romance scheme lets you enter a chivalric romance with a character, seducing them in a court-approved manner. Just imagine a knight pining after his lady, his heart full of longing, neither of them acknowledging the smouldering feelings between them. Now that can be you! If you succeed in this scheme and resist the temptations of the flesh, at least in public, you and your beloved become soulmates, a much more powerful version of the lover relationship. Is soulmate only available to people with the chivalry tree? Because that's a bit weird. But okay. Hopefully they won't both end up dead at the end of it, like in Romeo and Juliet. But, whatever. It's if it works, it works. If you cannot bear to be apart, even though her liege will never approve of a marriage between you, do not fear. I bring you elope. Marriage without any pesky relatives or lieges involved. However, in contrast to marriage, your partner actually has to like you for the union to work out, so you have some work ahead of you and make sure you're not caught. I mean, obviously, if they're soulmates, if you've done this first, then this should be fairly easy. My love, you have told me to be brave, but I cannot contain my fears any longer. What if King Salamon finds out about our plans? Wherever he appears, I go stiff and speechless. It's only a matter of time until he notices we're running out of time. Please, my dearest Boleslaw, make haste. Signed, Jacinta. Speed up the plans. Trust me, everything is under control. You shouldn't be sending letters then. Silly wench. Don't be sending letters. This tree culminates in the gallant trait. It affords you extra monthly prestige, as well as some attraction opinion, and of course a healthy boost to both martial and prowess. With all this helping you along, neither foe nor maiden will stand a chance. So that's it, both for martial and for our series of dev diaries focusing on lifestyles. We made it through, and I hope you found something you're looking forward to exploring and playing around with, and that you're excited as I am to see what kind of characters you will create with this. Next week we'll delve into interface tooltips and the tutorial, so keep your eyes peeled. Alright, that's some interesting stuff. Like, the big criticism I had for the economic focuses was there was a lack of mechanics involved in the things you took. It was just lots and lots of modifiers. And it was looking fairly similar here. There's just your troops are this much better. Your knights are 100% more effective. Oh, your mercs are cheaper. But then we got down here, and like this is mechanics. Eloping schemes and romance schemes. Like this is exactly what I want from these kind of focuses. It is something tangible that I can just do if I take this focus, but not if I take something else. Like, it's something to do rather than just, it just makes the thing that we can all do a little bit better. I like this. It makes it more of a choice. Because for economic, there's nothing new in there. I mean, there might be events and such that we haven't been shown yet, but all of the perks don't allow you to do anything new. It just improves what everyone can do. Whereas, again, with the Gallant thing here, this is something you can do. Something you can role play out, and that's what I really appreciate in the perks. That's what I like to see. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, I would love to know what you guys think as well, though. Of course, you leave your comments in the comment section below. We will be talking about this dev diary in tomorrow's episode of the podcast, NoCBcast, over on twitch.tv/NoCBcast. And I'm fairly sure there's going to be a poll being put out as well for what the favorite perk tree is. I don't know really which one mine is, so I'm going to have to go back and read them over again and think about what my favorite one is. But yeah, if you want to listen to my thoughts, TJ's thoughts, Enigmatic Rose's, and Father Loris's thoughts on this dev diary, and talking about all the dev diaries and such as well, and head on over to NoCBcast on Twitch, NoCBcast on Twitter as well, and we'll be talking about all of this stuff. So yeah, you should totally head on over there. The podcast is pretty fun. But for this video, that is all I have time for. So thank you all very much for watching. Please, again, do leave your comments in the comment section below. I will be reading them. I always do. And yeah, maybe you've spotted something that I haven't, and I can bring it up in the podcast tomorrow. How about that? Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. No, not bye-bye. There's one thing that I've forgotten, and that is to go and look at the comments of the devs. I'm going to leave this thing in. Look, sometimes these videos don't go to plan, and it's unscripted, other than the script here, but otherwise it's unscripted. So just bear with me. Ta-da. So unfortunately, Heptopus did not tag himself as a developer in the comments, so I've actually had to go and scroll through and find them. So Dengt here says, he points out the living off the land trait, giving raid speed, and he asks, does this mean everyone can raid? No, it does not. Civilized people will have to be satisfied with a supply capacity boost. Fair enough. I think raiding is something that should be available to everyone in different ways, because everyone did it. There was a lot of cross-border raiding. I think only the North should be able to do it via, ships and raiding coastlines and such, but pushing troops across the border to, raise and pillage and steal and stuff, that was a staple of the medieval times. If you lived close to a border with an enemy, or an enemy even if you had a truce with, I mean, you were kind of in a pretty bad spot. You weren't looking so hot. So seeing that only Norse and other, uncivilized nations are going to be able to raid is a little bit disappointing, honestly. And then the other one, I'm very curious about the difference between independence and liberty factions. I suppose one is straight out independence, and the other means less control over faction members' domain. Knight effectiveness, does it mean, and if you can share it with us? And Peacemaker 2, does it mean that AI finally accept peace offers even if we're not 100 peace war score? Independence faction is a group of peasants that want to escape your rule. A liberty faction is run by your vassals. Knight effectiveness is how good your knights perform in battle. It effectively increases the effect of their prowess. And nothing on Peacemaker, I see even. Yeah, but that's all he said so far, unless he said something else since I have started recording, which is always possible, so we can go and have a cheeky wee look, and nope, nothing new there. Okay, so now I am done. So I won't go through the whole other spiel, but yes, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next week for another CK3 Dev Diary. And it will not be on any more of these trees, it will be on interface tooltips and the tutorial. I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you are too. If you want to, again, see more CK3 stuff, then I might see you tomorrow for the podcast. So yeah, hope to see you there. Bye bye. This video's been very long, and I'm very bad at ending them. Have you noticed? I'll see you next time.